Today we are going to review division with decimal quotients. Let's do this example together. Okay, let's review our vocabulary term. The 49 is our dividend. The number 2 is our divisor. And our answer is our quotient. So we have the problem 49 divided by 2. Our first step is we ask ourselves, how many times does 2 go into 4? If you said 2, you are correct. 2 goes into the number 4 2 times. So I'm going to put the 2 as part of my quotient. 2 times 2 is 4. My next step is to subtract. 4 minus 4 is 0. And my next step is what? What is my next step? If you said bring down your 9, you are correct. I have to bring down the 9. And now I ask myself, how many times does 2 go into 9? You said 4, you are correct. 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, my next step is to subtract. 9 minus 8 is 1. So I have 1 left. So now I'm going to add a decimal to my dividend and a 0 to my dividend. And I'm going to bring that 0 down. So I have 10. So now I ask myself, 2 goes into 10 how many times? 5 times. So I'm going to put the 5 as part of my quotient. Make sure you bring that decimal up as part of your quotient. 5 times 2 is 10. I'm going to subtract, and I have 0 remaining. So my answer is 24 and 5/10. That is my quotient. Okay, now, what do I make you do to make sure that this is the correct answer? If you said check, you are correct. Okay, I want you to check your work. So we're going to get our quotient, 24 and 5/10, and we are going to multiply it by our divisor, which is 2. 5 times 2 is 10. Put your 0, carry your 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 2 times 2 is 4. Now I have a decimal that I have to move over 1 time. So I start my decimal at the end, I move it over 1 time. My answer is 49. And does that match my dividend? 49? Yes, it does. So that checks off. 24 and 5/10 is the correct answer. Let's do another example together. Okay, so I have 9 divided by 5. So I asked myself, how many times does 5 go into 9? If you said 1 time, you are correct. 1 times 5 is 5. My next step is to subtract. 9 minus 5 is 4. So I have 4 remaining. Okay, my next step is to add a decimal and a 0. Okay, and I'm going to bring that 0 down. So now I have 40. And I asked myself, how many times does 5 go into 40? If you said 8 times, you are correct. I'm going to put the 8 as part of my quotient. Make sure you bring up that decimal. Okay, 8 times 5 is 40. subtract 40 minus 40 is 0. Okay, so my answer is 1 8/10. Okay, but let's check to make sure this is correct. So I'm going to get my quotient 1 8/10, and I'm going to multiply it by my divisor, which is 5. 8 times 5 is 40. Put your 0, carry your 4. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9. How many times do I move my decimal over? 1 time. I start it here. I move it over 1 time. My answer is 9. Does that match my dividend? Yes, it does. It checks off. So 1 8/10 is the correct answer. Let's do another problem together. Okay, so I have 4 divided by 5. Can 5 go into 4? No, it cannot. 5 is too big. So I'm going to put a 0 because 5 cannot go into 4. And we multiply as we usually do. 0 times 5 is 0. Subtract. I'm going to bring down my 4. So remember, we're going to add our decimal and our 0. Bring down that 0. Now, can 5 go into 40? Yes. How many times does 5 go into 40? 8 times. 8 times 5 is 40. Subtract, you have a 0 remainder. How many times are you going to move your decimal? 1. 1's over, so my answer is 0 8/10. Let's check to verify that this is the correct answer. 8/10 times 5 equals, we get our quotient and we multiply it by our divisor, which is 5. 8 times 5 is 40. I put my 0, carry the 4. 5 times 0 is 0, plus 4 is 4. How many times am I moving the decimal? 1 place over. It starts here. 1 place over. So 4 is my answer. Does that match my dividend? Yes, it does. So 8/10 is the correct answer.